George the Tech.
Hey, George the Tech here. Well, the Universal Control and the Revelator io24 have had some changes since the first video I produced, and that's when they released the latest firmware update. They went to firmware version 1.21, as you can see in the Universal Control window. With that came some changes, and they said the reason for it was simplification. It was too complicated, and the additional features that were removed just simply caused more confusion, clearly based on the sheer volume of customer service issues they had with people learning how to use it, because they didn't see my video, obviously. So let's look at the new firmware, how it's different, and how this configuration will differ in your use case. So starting here at the Universal Control, I'm going to make sure that the unit is in device mode multi, since that's the way that most of us that are using the Revelator will want to use it. That is giving us the full power behind the multi-output input drivers that are available. And to be really clear, it's not actually that the drivers themselves are multi-channel. It's that there are multi-sets of drivers. There are actually 3 independent sets of drivers. If I look at my audio input-output configuration on my Mac, the same will hold true for Windows users. And I look, you'll see there are 3 sets of inputs and 3 sets of outputs, all for the Revelator. Revelator io24 is just the simple first and second channels, which are the 2 mic preamps, being sent out and nothing else. That's what you see on Revelator io24. What you see on Stream Mix A is a mix of what we create with the Mix A mixer, which I'll show you, and B is what we create as a mix in the Stream Mix B mixer. So let's take a look at that. If I click on the Revelator console control button, that will load the actual Revelator console, and there it is. Now we can start taking a look at things more closely here. Let's just reorganize a bit. As for settings, not much to do here. I don't recommend updating firmware unless you have a darn good reason for it. And the reason I say this is because if you're like me and you bought the Revelator when it was new and you did the firmware update and things changed without your awareness in terms of how the unit functioned, it could really get you in trouble. They could arbitrarily remove features, change the way they work, change the defaults, all sorts of things that could get you in trouble if you're using your Revelator in production. So do not update firmwares without your knowledge and awareness that things can change in a pretty big way. Just checking preferences. Let's see if there's anything from the defaults I would ever change. Clearly, language is up to you. Appearance, if you like it to follow the scheming of your computer's light and dark setting, you can do that. This is for MIDI addressing, which we won't in our context of VoiceOver use, but some of you in more advanced users may use. AVB is an advanced feature that we don't deal with in terms of VoiceOver and audio production. And touch input also is for interfacing the system with touchscreen monitors. So again, a very unique use case. However, but if you did want to use a touchscreen to control your Revelator's control panel, this is where you would assign the settings to make that work.